Okay. First thing I noticed was I have vertical angles, so I marked my vertical. And when you have a right angle here, you can assume that the other side's also a right angle because vertical angles are equal. So um, I'm gonna see if I can find my yellow sheet or my pink sheet here so that I can pretend I'm doing the quiz. Okay, so sides. Given if tick marks are shown or equal lengths are given. I have tick marks here. And notice sides are always two letters with a line over top. So this side is A, C, and this side is E, C, and that's given because the tick marks were there. Okay, now for angles, given if tick angle markings are shown or equal angles are given, that's what I have here. And on these two, I can just say angle B is congruent to angle D. So notice. And I can say just one letter because this is the only angle B in the whole thing, and this is the only angle D in the whole thing, and that's given. And then the last thing is the vertical that I marked, and I want you to notice that on my pink sheet here, very specifically says that it has to be 3 letters for vertical. I don't want you to get that wrong. You have to do all 3 letters. And so I'm going to follow the angle. I'm going to start with A, angle A to C to B, A to C to B is congruent to angle D to C to E. Notice the C is in the middle of both of those because that's where I have my vertical angle at C. No, on the second one, you could say ECD would also be good. Okay, and then this is where order matters for sure. So we are going to do alphabetical order on the top, triangle A, B, C. So that would be E, D, C specifically. And what is this? Angle, side. Okay, why is not RHL? Because there's a right angle in it, so we just assume it's RHL. It's not though. Why not? Yeah, there's 2 angles in there. The hypotenuse is not marked. Okay, now when you're ready, scroll on down. Notice, by the way, every bubble has a statement and a reason. Don't forget your reasons. Also, the diagram matters. So if you do not have arrows, the 3 arrows going into the last one will be taking off a half point. Just to warn you. You need to have arrows. Okay, last thing for the warm-ups, number 15. Find the measure of angle A. These are triangle angle sum theorem. We're going to add them to 180. So 7x minus 9 plus 3x plus 19 plus 50 equals 180. Okay, how many x's do I have total? 10. 10x plus 60. I like those numbers. You like it? Nice round numbers. Awesome. Okay, and then it says find the measure of angle A. So I plug the 12 back in. 7 times 12 minus 9. 84 minus 9 is 75. streets. I like those. Okay, now just scooch your packet off to the side and get your notebook. So you push this button and then two. So you say two dot when you hit that button.
Do you like press a number and then press this?
Mhm.
Thank you.
If you're wondering what this says on the side, it says trout left. Yes, like trout, like the actual trout. There's a word problem I'm going to read you about trout. Alrighty. Let me read you this word problem. I'll come back to this screen in just a second. Oh, sweet podium. Okay. A virus has invaded Letitia's favorite mountain fishing lake. No! Currently, there are an estimated 1,800 trout in the lake, and the Fish and Game Department has determined that the rate of fish deaths will be 1/3 of the population per week if left untreated. Sketch a graph showing how many fish are left in Letitia's favorite lake over several weeks. Theoretically, will the trout ever completely disappear from the lake? Use a graph to justify the answer. Okay, so in your table, can you guys please put 1,800 at the start? So next to the zero, put 1,800. That's the current amount in the lake. And it says that the rate of fish deaths will be 1/3. So that is decreasing by 1/3. And this is exactly what those last 4 questions on the Kahoot were talking about. If it's decreasing by 1/3 each, was it week? Yeah, weeks. How much are remaining? How many? What's the percentage? Not percentage, fraction. That's decreasing, but how many are remaining? Yeah. Okay, so what we're gonna do is go times 2/3 on our table. So 2/3 remain. And that is your multiplier. Okay, so we're gonna go 1,800 times, well, out of a total of 3/3, if 1/3 go away, yeah. I just found a common denominator of 3, and then I did 3/3 minus 1/3. Okay, so after 1 week, there will be 1,200. Ah, and then 800. I don't know why that was so hard for me. I just did 2 divided by 3, like the regular numbers. Excellent questions. Excellent questions. Okay, now we're gonna graph the dots. So 0, 1,800, 1, 1,200, 2, 800, which is there-ish, 3, 533, which is gonna be like just a little bit under the 600. And then 4 is 355, which is just gonna be a little bit above the 300. And then what? What do we know is gonna happen here with the shape of this? It's gonna be a curve, perfect. Okay, and what's gonna happen with the curve? Beautiful. It's gonna go right above the x-axis, but don't touch it. Try to leave a little bit of daylight, as I like to say. Okay, and the equation is y equals the start times 2/3 to the x. Okay, now it says theoretically, will the lake ever run out of fish? Theoretically, correct. No. Okay, any questions about 78 that have not already been wonderfully asked? Anything? 78, good? Okay, go ahead and set up 79. Mhm. Just like that. Just like how you said it. Like, do you see the parentheses button? So there's a button on there called the caret. That's an up arrow. Yes, you see it? And then it should go up, like it should look like it's up, and then do you see it? It's not an eating kind of carrot. It's also not a diamond kind of carrot. I know. That would be good. Super cool. All right, here's number 79. Suppose the annual fees for attending a public university were 7,210, and the annual cost can be seen in the graph at right. Write an equation to model this situation. Use the model to predict the cost of attending a public university in the first year you would be eligible to enroll. So we're gonna have to count how old you are. What is the cost in 2000, assuming the rate of increase was the same during the time of period from 2000 to 2010? Okay, hold on. We have to do little things at once. Okay, so can you guys first put those two coordinates in the table? So 0, 7,000 and 1, 7,700. We'll start with making the table from those and then. Okay, so 7,000 times something is 7,700. 7,000 B. Okay, so my equation is y equals 7,000 times 1.1 to the x. Okay, now my next question is, what year will you guys go to college? To 2028. Okay, so how many years after 2010 is that? 18 years. Okay, so we're gonna plug 18 in. And this is a really great practice for you guys. If you're asking me how to do an exponent on the calculator, this is a great time to practice that. So y equals 7,000 times 1.1 to the 18th power. So I have 7,000 parenthesis 1.1. You don't even really need the parenthesis. You just need to put times. No. What matters is that you hit this up arrow for the exponent. That's called the caret. We were just talking about that. $38,919.42. So remember about the money thing. Two decimal places. Okay, C. Oh, did I write the wrong number? I did indeed. Thank you. Should be 42. Okay. Mrs. Talbot would have got a half point off there. Okay. C. What was the cost in 2000, assuming the rate of increase was the same during the time period from 2000 to 2010? How many years before 2010 is 2000? 10 years. Okay, so what do we plug in? Yeah, -10 because it's before. $2,698.80. Man, that's a lot cheaper. Quite a lot less expensive. Okay, D, using the model that was, what was the calculated cost for 2012? Okay, what do I plug in for 2012? 2. Okay, so practice, you guys plug in the 2, practice on the calculator. Yep, 8,407. Now, if it comes out evenly, you don't need to put .00. You can just leave it like that. Okay. Last one for this. In 2012, the annual cost was actually 8,244. Why is that different from your answer to part D? The real cost was 8,244. Why is it different from what we got? Because does real life always follow a perfect curve? No. And it pretty much doesn't ever really follow it perfectly. What is it for then? Why do we use mathematical models if it doesn't really follow it all the time? Exactly, like to make a prediction. For mental preparation, I like to know kind of what the weather's going to be, but that stupid weather app on my phone's been wrong 7,000 times. Do I still look at it? Yeah, because I want to know if it's safe to wear Uggs or not. This is basically why.
That time on, I think it was like last Friday, when it said there wasn't gonna be a chance of rain until 11.
I know,
And it was pouring at like 8:06.
I know. See,
Remember that?
I do, but I did not wear my Uggs that day.
Still not as bad as 2 days ago.
I know. I did wear my Uggs yesterday. I think they were safe. Anyway, if you guys could please write down number 80. If you think that these are too long, don't sign up for math 2, please. Just take personal finance.
Personal finance instead of IM2.
Yeah, but you just can't go to a 4-year college right out of high school then. Yeah. Yes, it counts for math. Only counts for math for 1 more year though. The next year's the last year to take it. It's kind of a lie. Everyone has to take it after that, but then they make it a semester class. Just giving you too much information now. Okay, now on this one, where you're writing, I know that you're writing. We do not need a calculator for this because we have our mental math specialist on board. Yeah, we're gonna use our brain. Then for these, it's called completing the web. So completing the web means, if you have the graph, find the table and the equation. If you have the equation, find the table and the graph. And if you have the table, find the equation and the graph. So find the other two, given something. And don't worry, I put a like table with little blanks in there so you wouldn't like forget to do it all. Like you don't need to know what things make the web. Just need to fill in all the stuff. Okay, so but mostly importantly, you have an equation here. What of these two numbers is the start? 5. And 3 is the multiplier. So 15. We got this. We got this. 45. 135. You are an impressive individual. Okay, so 0, 5. I suggest that we go by fives on the y-axis here. And we might not be able to fit all of it, but we can get the general shape. So 0, 5, 1, 15. Okay, now I'm just going to use common sense. What shape should this make if it's exponential? Curve. Okay, so it's going to come along here. And then go up. Make sure you show that asymptote. Okay, next one. Which one of these numbers is the start? 10. 5, 2.5, 1.25, 0.625. Okay, what should we go on the Y's on this one? Probably 2's. Mm, oh, oh. Okay, we have one problem left, number 81. And this one is going to help with those people who had the trouble with the last 4 questions on the Kahoot, like the percent increase, decrease business. We're not going to do, we're just going to find the equations, and that's it. You have 100 grams of a substance and it's decaying at 6%. What is the equation? Okay, so decaying. Does that mean it's going up or down? Down. Okay, so you go 100% minus 6% is 94%. And what's 94% as a decimal? 0.94. Beautiful. So what is my equation then? Y equals to the x. Just the equation. We're not going to actually find anything. That's it for that one. You have a club. It has 45 members, increasing by 30%. Going up, right? Increasing. So what do I do? Yes, beautiful. 100% plus 30% is 130% as a decimal. 1.3. I'm going to put 1.30. You can put 1.3, same thing. Equation y equals 45, 1.3 to the x. Okay. C. How do I find it from a table? What is B, guys? 0.89. Okay. So the equation is y equals 160 times 0.89 to the x. Okay, now I have two questions for you. What would I do to get the next number in the table? So there's two ways. You can put a 2 in for x here, or you can take 142.4 times 0.89, which is the lazy way. 126.7. Okay, now last thing for this problem. How would I describe the percent increase or decrease? First, is it going up or down each time? Down. Beautiful. Okay, so it's a percent decrease. How much is it decreasing? No. Negative 11%. Because that's what gets to 100. So 100%. And I just put the negative on there because it's going down each time. You could write negative 11%, or you could write 11% decrease. Last problem. Then it's quiz time. Also, do you guys all know what the homework is? The mid-chapter 8 reviewer sheet, you're supposed to keep working on that. Not due today. Okay, that's why I didn't say it, because it's not due today. Okay. Question, compound interest, is that increasing or decreasing something? Increasing. So interest is a good thing. You want interest. It means you get more money. Okay, now let's try to do this without writing out the percent. If it's going up, what would the multiplier be? Going up. Okay, we need to show it apparently. 100% plus 18% is 118%, which is 1.18. Y equals 285 times 1.18 to the x.